About 7% of US adults have depression. Today, I will be informing my communications class about depression. More specifically, I will be talking about how many people are affected by it, how they are affected by it, and what we can do to help. Now I will move on to my main points. My first main point is how many people are affected by it. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, about 7.1% of American adults have depression or had depression during the year of 2017. During that same study, they found that 8.7% of women had depression, while 5.3% of men had depression. Combined together, that total is 17.3 million people during that year. That could be your neighbor, it could be your coworker, your classmate, anybody, your friend. And I haven't even started talking about the younger people. According to the National Department of Health and Human Resources, about 31% of high schoolers during the year of 2017 had depression. That is a lot. That number is 5.16 million students. That's almost a third of how many adults had depression during that year. And if you combine the adults and the children together, that's 22.46 million people from 9th grade onward who have depression. I have now given my first main point, who is affected by depression. Next, my second main point is how are they affected? My reference here is House A. Joe, who is a licensed family and marriage counselor, who she wrote an article that I accessed on June 27th this year. Depression can lead to a loss of appetite. It can also lead to deterioration of focus, as well as hurt the relationships you already have with your friends, just due to the way that these people, like their emotions are bottling up inside of them, and it can really affect how their friends view them. And one of the biggest things it can also do is it can increase anxiety, which in turn, anxiety then increases your depression, which then turns into an endless cycle of increasing self-doubt, which is terrible. I have now gone over my second main point, how people are affected by depression. Now for my third main point. How can we as people or friends or family help? According to Cleveland Clinic, who wrote an article during February of 2020, one of the most important things you can do to help these people is to talk to them. And I understand it is a touchy subject, depression is. But that makes it all the more important for you to talk to the people you care about who might be suffering from it. And when you start to talk to them, don't say things like, you don't seem like yourself, because that makes it seem like you're saying that they're the issue, that the reason they are acting like themselves is their fault. Instead, use phrases like, I'm worried about you. In essence, use phrases that don't use you phrases, use I phrases. Next, be patient. The recovery process of depression can take quite a while, and it's a hard thing to get through and just work towards. So be patient with them. Just always be by their side if you can. It's really important. And lastly, for this point, don't think you can fix it unless you have a medical license to do so. Because while you can help, that doesn't mean you should try to think you can fix it. Just helping and being there isn't enough to get them out of that hole, typically. Instead, they do need to go see a medical professional, like a counselor, or sometimes just a doctor visit who would probably tell you to go to a counselor. I have just gone over my three main points. Who is affected by depression? 7.1% of adults and 31% of high school students. How it affects them, which can be a lack of appetite or increased anxiety. And how to help, which is basically talk, be patient, and don't overset the boundaries that should be set there. Now, as I close up, I'm just going to share a quick story about myself. I struggled with depression for about a year. I still struggle with it, but during that 1 year, it kept getting worse and worse and worse, and it sucked because I didn't feel like I could tell anyone about it because everyone around me, I think, expected me to act a certain way. So all my emotions were bottled up inside me, and I couldn't really talk to anyone about it. And then towards the end of that year, I started going to counseling because I really couldn't take it anymore, and I just needed to tell someone about it. And counseling has helped a lot. Having my family understand what I'm going through, or trying to understand what I'm going through, helps a lot. Just being able to express myself is so much better than having the feeling that I need to bottle it all up and hide. So, due to that experience, I think it is extremely important to help other people who are going through the same situation that I went through during that 1 year, because many people have gone through it longer than I have and still haven't gotten help. And the longer people go through it, the longer it takes to recover. It's still taking me a while, and I'm still going to counseling, and it's getting better, but I can't imagine what it would be like for someone who's gone through it for so much longer. So I think it's important to help those people and to be aware of what's going on. Thank you.